Have you ever really stopped to think about all the financial choices you make every single day? I mean, from that morning coffee to the car you drive, what's really behind those decisions? It's not just about what you can afford. It's so much deeper. We're talking psychology, we're talking status, and yeah, we're talking about a system that is pretty much designed to keep us all wanting more. So let's get into it. Let's really explore why we buy. This quote right here is the perfect starting point. It completely flips the script on how we usually think about money, doesn't it? Because it's not just about boring spreadsheets and budgets. Nope. Every single purchase you make is like a vote for what you value. It's a signal to the world about who you are, and maybe even a glimpse into the person you hope to become. Okay, to make this really hit home, let's look at two very different stories. Think of it as a tale of two budgets. So first, meet Sarah. She's a middle-class accountant. Her family's comfortable, they can save, they can invest, they can enjoy some of life's hobbies. And then there's David. He's a single dad working pretty much around the clock. And for him, every single dollar is a fight just to survive. We're talking rent, food, and absolutely nothing left over. Now, these two stories, they're not just about having more or less money. They represent a huge, fundamental split in how people are literally forced to think about their finances, all because of their circumstances. Just look at the difference in their mindset. Sarah gets to play the long game. She's thinking about her 401k, maybe some stocks, building wealth and planning for the future. David, though, is totally trapped in the present. His only focus is making it through today, through this week, through this month. For him, the future isn't a choice. It's a privilege he just can't afford. And this difference in mindset, it shows up every time they go shopping. Sarah can afford to think about things like quality and long-term value. David can't. He has to go for the absolute cheapest option, even if he knows it's probably going to break in a month. It's not a bad choice. For him, it's the only choice. Even the word debt means something completely different to Sarah and David. For Sarah, debt is a tool to get ahead. A mortgage for a home, a student loan for an education. For David, debt is a lifeline that can so quickly turn into a trap, with things like high-interest payday loans just to cover the basics. So, as you can see, these aren't just personal choices. There's a real fundamental economic difference in the things we buy, and it has a massive impact on our ability to build wealth. Let's break that down. First up, you've got what are called consumer goods. This is most of the stuff we all buy. Our groceries, our clothes, our phones. We use them, and then they're gone. Their economic story pretty much ends with us. Then, on the other hand, there are capital goods. These are things that make other things. Think of a baker's oven that's churning out bread to sell, or a freelancer's laptop that's their entire business. See, these goods don't just get used up, they actually create more value. So, here's a little thought experiment for you. Take a lawnmower. Is that a capital good or a consumer good? What's your first guess? Well, the answer is it depends. If you buy it to mow your own lawn, it's a consumer good. But if a landscaping company buys that exact same lawnmower, it's a capital good, a tool that makes them money. This simple shift in perspective is actually a huge secret to building wealth. But it's not all about economics. There's this powerful, invisible force at play every single time we pull out our wallets, and that's psychology. Because we're not just buying things, we're buying an identity. We are all fundamentally wired to seek status. It's just a basic human drive. And in our world, luxury brands have become this powerful shortcut, almost like a cheat code, to signal to everybody else that we've made it, that we're part of the in crowd. So who are these luxury brands really selling to? Well, you might be surprised. The truly wealthy are often surprisingly low-key. The real target is often us, the aspirational buyers who want a little piece of that lifestyle. And brands, well, they have a whole bag of tricks to lure us in. They gift items to celebrities to make it all seem attainable. And there's even something called the pretty woman effect, where salespeople might act a little dismissive to make you feel like you have to prove you can afford it. This comment from Reddit just says it all, doesn't it? It's the modern consumer's dilemma in a nutshell. How to get the status without that insane price tag. It's a powerful reminder that what we're really buying isn't a product, it's an image. Now, this whole conversation about status and spending, it leads us to some really big and honestly uncomfortable myths about poverty. It's time we set the record straight on a few things. Let's tackle the first myth, that low-income consumers are somehow bad for business.
It's a really common assumption, but is it actually true?
Well, the data tells a very different story. The low-income market is actually like a hidden gold mine. Their collective buying power is massive. And for many people, poverty is a temporary state. On top of that, they can become incredibly loyal customers. And if you don't believe me, just look at the billion-dollar empires built by companies like Family Dollar that caters specifically to them. Now, for what is maybe the most damaging myth of all, this idea that people are poor simply because they're lazy or irresponsible. This is a belief that runs really deep in our culture, but it's also deeply misguided. The truth is, poverty is an incredibly complex web of factors. Yes, of course, individual choices matter, but so does the family you're born into, the neighborhood you grow up in, and the entire economic system you're a part of. To blame it all on the individual is to completely ignore the bigger picture. So, what happens when you combine all of this? The financial pressure, the psychology of status, and a system that's literally designed to keep us wanting more? Well, you get the world we live in today. Let's take a closer look at that system. This is the really dirty secret of the luxury world. To keep their products exclusive and their prices sky high, some of the biggest brands in the world, we're talking Coach, Chanel, Hermes, will literally burn their unsold goods. They would rather destroy a perfect product than let it fall into what they consider the wrong hands. It's a pretty shocking example of how manufactured scarcity drives our desire. And the environmental cost of all this consumption, it's just staggering. Let this number sink in. 10%. That is the percentage of global carbon emissions that comes from the fashion industry alone. That makes it the second most polluting industry on Earth, right after oil. It's something to think about the next time you see a fast fashion bargain. So let's go all the way back to where we started. If our spending is really a reflection of who we are, then what are our purchases actually saying about us? Are we buying into a system of status and waste? Or can we make choices that reflect a totally different set of values? The power really is in our hands, one purchase at a time.